Folks, we are live. Welcome to the Random Party Generator, the RPG live stream. I am Eric Tenkar, your asshole in the OSR, I guess I should say,
Really?
according to some. Rob Conley, Mr. Bat in the Attic, Black Marsh, Joe the Lawyer, a
Nope.
larger than life personality,
Hmm?
Chubby Funster, also known as Greg Christopher. He looks like a Golden Girl pirate right now.
Thank you
I
for being a friend.
thank you for being
Ah,
a friend.
Greg, 100x
Uh,
me if you sing that song like you did in the game the other night.
No, not on here.
Yeah,
and,
it's
and
good that you didn't let him record that, Greg. 'Cause he
Oh,
would've-
I've got to record
that
it.
could
Don't
that
worry
could have been
about
a ringtone. And
yeah.
last, certainly not least, Tim Gothridge Manor Shorts. There we go. We don't have a Matt Jackson, but if we make fun of him enough, he might pop in.
Yeah.
So we'll try to work on that. We got to make jokes about ladders and stuff. He really should be writing like a new version of Shoots and Ladders for the OSR. It would be a perfect thing. He's a mapper, right? So he do a dungeon that's inspired by Shoots and Ladders?
That's true.
I mean,
And it would make as much sense as every dungeon that he likes. So, yeah, he might as well. You know?
I was just wondering. So, now I know we don't have official bingo cards. We'll work on that because bingo cards you need more than just one version of it. But
All right, just a brief shout out. This is Matt Finch's Swords and Wizardry. I ordered a print on demand copy, and I'm pretty.
I got mine too. It's pretty good.
This is an excellent. This is one of his best layouts ever.
It's better. The art for the monsters leaves a bit to be desired, but it's a good book, and it's larger than his last one, which was fucking tiny. You couldn't see it. The pages were too glossy. You know, it's a good book. It's a good book.
Yeah, and here's
Yeah, like the monster and spells don't have a lot of illustration, but
No.
the stat block is clear. It's to the point. Excellent.
Yep. True to form for Matt.
And
Yeah.
it's nice that he has the spelled out stat book here, and he has the liner that you can copy and paste.
yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
Oh,
I didn't
okay.
notice that. I didn't catch that. That's pretty good.
Yeah, he
idea.
does that in the monster book.
Yeah,
That
that's
was a-
it's
That's
really nice
helpful.
edition.
It's very helpful.
So just so
Yep,
cross
and
that
then
off, folks. Rob, pull
Here's
out
the
something.
Earl Otis cover.
oh,
Oh,
hold
you
on
got
a
the
second.
Earl Otis. Let's see. I didn't
Ooh.
buy that one.
Yeah, yeah. It's I mean,
It's coming right for you.
you're right. And then this is the one he
Yes, that's what I got.
That's the one I got. Yeah.
Yeah,
I gotta say, this is heresy to say this, I guess, for old school people, but I am not an Earl Otis art guy. I respect
no,
him,
I get that.
but I'm not a fan.
Yeah, I have to say, there's there's definitely a lot of old school artists I would put in the front and that, but I mean I can't deny his
Contribution.
at all.
Yeah.
You know,
I
so,
can't deny his vibe. I mean, I don't. I'm with
You
Tim
know
on
his
this
art.
one, but
Yeah,
more power for the people who like him because he
Yeah.
definitely has his vibe.
I mean, Larry Elmore is the chainmail bikini guy. That right there is a win in my book. That's pretty much
Right.
it. You know, you win. That's done. Best artist ever.
yeah, I wish David Trampier. That's how you pronounce it, Eric.
Yeah.
Trampier, yes.
Mhm.
Trampier. Yeah, I wish he didn't bow out of the hobby because out of all the old school artists, I like his
I
stuff
agree
the
with that.
best.
Rob.
Yeah,
He was
him.
singing
And,
stuff.
I like Sullivan a lot too. But who's the guy who did the Fiendful? Was that Russ Nicholas? Is that
I
who
think
did-
Russ did a lot of it. Yeah, it's
I really like his stuff too.
Dave Trampier's one riding down the street, shooting the magic missile at some fucker.
Elric the
Cobblestone
Chaotic or
Street.
something like that. Or
Did
no,
I-
not-
Sorry, I
forgot his
interrupted
name.
you.
No, go ahead, Rob. I'm sorry.
I found the street that he drew off of. It's
Oh
in-
yeah, that was one of the
it-
blog posts. I remember
Yeah,
that.
yeah, it was in Rhodes, the island
Really?
of Rhodes.
Yep.
Yeah,
And, no, that was great. That was actually pretty damn good. I like that one.
I'll find.
I like that one. Here, I got it here. Let me share screen. God, what the hell?
We're all sharing today.
Yeah. This, where is it? Let me make sure there's nothing identifiable here. There, Eric. I think I shared it properly. That one. That to me, there's certain images that we grew up with. Everybody's different images, right?
Right.
When you started. But to me, that's one of maybe the top 5 iconic. That is D&D to me. You know what I mean? That right there is my image.
I think of that image where the guy is like sticking out his arm and it's way too long relative to his body, but it looks really cool. You know what I'm talking about? That's maybe from Undermountain. I don't know, somewhere like that.
Oh, I'm not sure which one.
I'm not sure.
I'll Google. Use my Google magic.
Yeah.
Whoa!
Now you're doing one of
Sorry,
mine,
Rob.
man.
I didn't realize it.
Hold on, I screwed it. Hold on, let me redo that.
Infinite Rob.
It's the only way he's going to beat me.
I don't know. We had a shortage of tech support people, and it felt like Infinite Rob all this week.
We got 10 viewers. Holy shit! You guys, what do you want to hear us talk about? Because we always get on and we say, here's the thing. About a day or two before, some of us may or may not say, hey, what do we want to talk about this Friday? And nobody really pipes up with anything substantive. And then we log in about 10 to 8 and you say, what are we going to talk about? We don't talk about anything, but we're going to talk about. And then about 5 after 8, we say, fuck, we got to start the show. What are we going to talk about? I don't know. So that being said, what do you guys
I got the
hear us
next
talk
5
about?
minutes, Joe, if you just be quiet.
Them fighting words,
Imagining D&D for myself.
That is pretty
okay.
awesome.
So here is the street. It is appropriately called the Street of Knights. It's in Rhodes,
Very cool,
Greek island. But there's a problem with the picture. See, Emrakul is screwed. You know why? Because if you actually look at that street,
dead end, isn't it?
Yeah, it runs into the castle courtyard.
Ooh.
Well, maybe
the red line is the street, and he's riding toward the castle courtyard. So he'll ride right into this.
No, I'm going home. I'm going to kill a couple people on the way home.
Yeah,
this is true.
You got to Google it. You got to Google it ahead of time.
That picture is what I think was kind of like the bookmarker for me to where the city random tables were. Wasn't it real close to that picture?
I got to look now.
Yeah, because
you know how hard
it was to find anything in that damn book. So you had to kind of use. It's almost like you couldn't tell the street names, but you could use like landmark references, and that was one of my landmarks.
I just flipped to the DMG, right? I'm on page 232. It's the middle of the index, literally. And there we have an Ankeg chasing some farmer fuck.
Yes, I love that picture. Yeah.
In the middle of the fucking table, the index. I mean, who puts art in an index? Gary,
motherfucker. Yeah, that arm is a bit long. I do remember this piece.
Can you hand me a water, please?
That's a good one too. Yeah, we got the succubus chick with the kind of a fat ass on page 230, right?
On a Munster manual, which my preteen Munster manual automatically opens up to.
Oh yeah. Let me see, Tim. Oh, no, this is the DMG, Eric. I'm talking about. But
it's
a fatter, uglier succubus. Yes. So we got Emrakul the Chaotic, and
that's right past it. Then Joe.
Tim is on page 193. It's in the middle of the. What is this section? Random monster generator, random monster encounter.
Oh, it's the random monster.
It's just before Appendix D, random generation of creatures from the lower planes. It's in the middle. Appendix C.
So maybe that's why I was hanging out there a lot.
City guards and all that kind of shit.
So
City encounters. It's right in the middle of city encounters. Appendix C.
They needed night killer crossbows, right, Tim?
Yeah, that's right. Night killer crossbows, and then of course a healthy table for different workers of the night.
You got more boobs on page 180, by the way. Right, more random encounters. You got a
random boob encounter.
Random boob encounter, page 180.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, if you leave your house, Joe, you can have some random movie encounters also.
I'm leaving my house after this. I'm going back to the bar I started the night at. Maybe I'm going to head back.
Go back there, huh?
It's a good night. When the hot bartender and the hot waitresses start drinking because it's a stressful night, you know that around 11 o'clock it's going to be rocking right there, right? So I'm going to head on back and see what's going on.
There you go. That's funny.
Yeah, there was a bar in Manhattan called Red Rocks that if you stayed, it was downtown. It was in like Soho, on the west side, and if you stayed until at least like midnight, on a weeknight when things started slowing down, the bartenders would get a little crazy. And I mean, like literally crazy, where they would like pour a pitcher of beer and then like drink it on the bar until it poured over into their shirt. And of course everybody's just whoever's left is just throwing money in the bar tipping. So they knew what they were doing.
Yeah. No, it's
around here we had this one place. What they would do is the lady who drank, so she was the bartender, but of course she was her own best customer. She would around 11 and 12 o'clock, she would start calling it a B-52 night, because at 2 o'clock they'd shut down the bar, like everybody would be allowed to stay because it was a B-52 night because everybody was getting bombed.
I remember back when I was in law school. I was at law school. I was studying for the bar exam, just post law school, and my buddy his father had a stroke. His father owned a strip bar in my old hometown, and his father had a stroke, and so his son had to take it over. And his son kind of had to do it. He didn't want to, but he kind of liked it because he was 23. And why wasn't like a strip bar at 24, 23, right? So I'm going down there after studying all night, and it's like 1 o'clock. So let me drop in and see what's going on. I know they're closing up, but I could hang out for a bit. Now this is the guy where I go over his house at age 13 or 14. We're in his basement, and his father was half mobbed up because you had to be to own a strip bar in the area I was at, right? He's like, "Hey, you want to see my father's Uzi?" We're like, "Yes." We're holding an Uzi at 14. Didn't even know it was loaded. We're just holding
shit.
Right? So you're 14. You don't take it out. You're just holding an Uzi. Anyway, so I go to the bar. I'm like 25. I don't know, 27, whatever the fuck I was. And I'm sitting there, and then there's a fucking sirens in the fire department. All pulls up in front of the bar. I'm like, "The fuck is going on?" There was a fire at the place next door. It was bad enough to have the fire department come, but not bad enough to have us kicked out. And so I'm locked in. So I'm like, "Motherfucker, I'm stuck in a strip bar." I'm like, "Whoa, I'm stuck in a strip bar." This is all right. Turned into a good night.
That was a little slow on the uptake there.
Anywho. That's the kind of vibe I got before I left there. So I'm like, I'm going to go back.
Might have some fun. Now there you
go. I should make an announcement, folks. For those of you following along for the last 12 years, and there's probably not many of you that have followed along for all of 12 years, but if you have Far West released today in PDF.
What is Far West?
Far West released today in PDF.
A little background for the old and senile there.
So this actually happened, and you have the PDF. That's what
I have the PDF. I have little
time. Share.
Well, no, listen. We are not the progressive OSR RPG group where they push sharing of copyrighted PDF.
No, that's not the kind of share. I said share your screen.
I thought, because trust me, you probably don't want the PDF anyway. But that being said,
and then you got to show your illustration.
That was what I didn't understand on text earlier today, Eric. Is why were they sharing stuff that they hate?
Yeah,
they didn't hate it. They only hate the creator. They don't hate the stuff. They only hate the creator. So, all right.
We need background on both stories, Eric. So give us the background on the Far West for those who are new.
So here is, I'm going to first show you a compilation of what I thought were four of probably the worst of pictures that worst artwork I saw in the first 60 pages. So I'm going to show this, and I shared this on my in the Discord server earlier. And then I was like, all right, I'll take a screenshot of it. So hold on. So, this is some of the art.
What in the fuck is that shit? Oh, dude, is that you in the bottom left?
Yeah, bottom left is me.
I'm getting the 1970s version of Lord of the Rings vibe here.
That's terrible.
Yeah, so it looks like it's rotoscoped, right? So yes. So there are some pieces of better artwork. But the better artwork is not the stuff that was done by Gareth.
Sure.
So, background, Eric, why is this important that we are dealing with this guy?
All right. So, way back, literally before I was married, my 12th anniversary comes up in November. I backed one of my first Kickstarters was Far West because it looked mega awesome. It was Wuxia, Old West. This is going to be great, and he's got these great plans for it. It's going to be I don't know. It's going to be books and music. And
By he, you mean who?
Gareth Starker. I affectionately refer to Gareth as Gareth the Hutt, but that's just me. Gareth was on a podcast about 6 or 7 years ago, being recorded at a convention in the Southwest, where they asked him about his then 5 years or 6 year late Kickstarter, and the criticism he gets from Eric Tenkar, and Gareth, being the wonderful person he was, said, "If I ever meet that Tenkar guy, I'm punching him in the throat."
That's right. Yeah, I remember that.
Oh, that guy.
Yes. And my response,
is he going to ShireCon next week, please?
No, Gareth. so
we can send Rob and you after him then.
Yeah, we'll have the swords ready.
Swords ready.
there was a website dedicated to his supposed release dates over the last 12 years, because this was due, according to him, on December of 2011. That was when people should have expected a copy. At one point, Cubicle 7, and when I say Cubicle 7, yes, the Cubicle 7 that's printed and published a large number of RPGs that many of us know, he signed a licensing or contract with them that they were going to distribute Far West, and he was always 2 weeks away from giving them a manuscript. And after about a year, they said, yeah, and then he blamed them for his hospital expenses, because he wasn't getting paid. You didn't do any work. You didn't submit any work. How do you get paid?
Yeah.
So Gareth has lost more pets, had more family members, including himself, hospitalized than I think.
All 6 of his grandmothers died.
Yeah. I mean, there are islands in the South Pacific that, have populations that are smaller than the people that got injured within his family over the last 12 months. His backyard is probably a pet cemetery, from what I can understand. So there was a lot of pushback on Gareth. So much pushback that Modiphius,
yeah.
the publishers of the Star Trek RPG, because he was working as a freelancer on Star Trek RPG, they made a public announcement that until Gareth finished his outstanding Kickstarter debt, his responsibilities, they were not going to have him freelance on Star Trek.
Wow.
One problem.
This is from back in the day when you kept a list of all the bad offenders, right?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
So there's only one.
Gets Kickstarter updates every month.
So there's only one problem with that promise. Michael Brophy.
Okay.
Gareth Michael Skarka. Gareth Michael, mother's maiden name apparently was Brophy. Michael Brophy was the pen name that he was writing under then to write material for Star Trek. That's how Modiphius got around. We're no longer employing Gareth Skarka. Welcome aboard, Michael Brophy, who has no writing history, but we're going to give you, let you write for Star Trek.
Uh-huh.
So, so that was that one. I didn't expose that. That was, the community is very good at finding out these bullshitters and other stuff.
They're also good at polluting the space.
Yeah. So this project took 12 years. It started out as a D20 game. It finally released as a open D6 plus game. So right when he was going to release it the first time a couple of years ago, he said the manuscript was done. He then had like a realization that he probably shouldn't release it. So he said, I'm going to rewrite it in open D6.
Does he use the D6 system from Star Wars? The RPG?
Open D6 is very similar to that. Open D6 is what West End Games put out and then made open, and it was based on the Star Trek D6 system. So if you get like D6 space, you could replicate Star Wars D6 without too much effort. So that's what so it's out. I haven't given it attention, and I probably will not until after ShireCon. But I mean, look at the amazing art. The guy that's flying, I'm gonna actually bring up that one on its own, because that one is literally a what the fuck. So I want to bring up that what the fuck.
The best one in that group looked like you, Eric. You're like Super Monk. You're like Bruce Lee.
Yeah, that's his.
Tenkar.
Oh, you haven't seen that one in the
level.
past? All right,
I remember seeing that. I just don't remember where it came from. It's kind of cool, though. I like
it. Came from here. It comes from here. I paid extra to have my artwork. I'm supposed to get a print at some point. I don't know if I want one, but I mean, so
Dude,
you even own the house where you took that picture at?
There we go.
Young Eric, look, he had hair. It was brown. It
Yeah,
was
you
gray.
know.
I mean,
I wasn't even married at that time.
look at that single guy.
Yes.
Yeah, a wedding ring.
Uh-huh. Look
A
at
beard cut.
those
Young
those
Eric.
red hands. So
Yeah.
but that's like I said, there's one that I really gotta pull up. Hold on.
Now, Eric, did you pose for a picture like that, and he just kind of did this weird touch-ups to
No,
it?
he just took my face.
Oh, okay. Because if there's an original
I-
pose of you standing like a Shaolin monk, I want to see that fucking picture.
No. So now this
Well, I can do the Kirby hand, but
All right. Rob's going all Shaolin on us here now.
there we go.
Watch out, Rob. That's cultural appropriation, man. You don't want to do that.
All right. So now look at this.
What the hell is that shit?
Now,
that was obvious Photoshop.
isn't it?
Bad
I mean,
look,
That
And
head,
even-
ain't right.
That head don't look right, sir. What the hell is going on in that picture? So yeah, that head. If I was the one that paid for it, I'm sure this person paid to have their likeness in this book. I was disappointed with what I got. I can only imagine this one. Oh my god!
This might be
Guy-
the only case that AI art might be appropriate.
Yeah, no shit, really. Tim's anti-AI. That's something.
Oh, good. Well, I mean, hey, what do you got to do?
Matt, I didn't see
What's
Matt
Matt?
making comments in the
Oh, yeah, he took a shot at Joe earlier.
not having a cushy government job. Cushy retirement,
I'm
sir.
just sitting and edit RPG products all day. I don't edit RPG products all day. What products do I put out, motherfucker? I don't put shit out. I just write great long campaign settings, that you don't understand
Yes.
the concept of.
Then house rules. Don't
And
forget the house rules.
Your house Oh, yeah, by the way, Joe, so switching gears to ShireCon, so you're going to premiere your
I am.
Fantasy Heartbreaker?
I'm working furiously with enough to get a player forward version. Basically, there's no player's handbook, but I got 7 classes written up. I got character sheets developed for them. I just got to spend the weekend filling it in. I got the adventure because Eric, you fucked me up, motherfucker. Because I was going to run the same fucking module, as a module there that I ran with you guys, but Eric was in it, so I'm like, bitch.
Oh,
I gotta
dude,
rewrite
come on.
the thing.
Dude, I'm a professional. I can play stupid.
No.
I
I
can
know.
play stupid.
I needed to rewrite it anyway, honestly. So it was too focused on that setting. I wanted to make it more generic. You know what I
So
mean?
what's it like kind of based on? I'm assuming it's a D20, right?
It's It's basically it's a D20 and some 5e elements. Everything is roll D20, go high. You know what I mean? That sort of thing. And
With 5E elements, what does that mean?
it's well.
Like nobody dies or something?
No. I hope to kill some motherfuckers too on Friday. So no, but it's basically it's DCs, right? So you're rolling high against some DCs for several things, like. But
just like some difficulty levels.
Yes,
challenge
yeah.
levels,
So
I don't want to interrupt you too much here, Joe, but I'm really getting sick of the people throwing around constantly like such and such a game as 5e when it's adopted one mechanic from 5e or some shit like that.
Yeah,
people like that throwing shit on Facebook all the time. I'm like, I can't even read what's going on in these groups anymore. It's such idiocy.
Yeah, I just took the DC thing for some of the skills. That's all. And there's no skill system. It's class based. I want class protection. I want thieves to be thieves, and they're not called fucking rogues. Rangers are rangers. They have tracking. Nobody else does. That kind of stuff. I want class protection. I have basic gear list. I'm going to completely steal Greg's gear list from Mission and Avarice and edit a few things so I can steal it legitimately. It's the best gear list in the world. If you haven't gotten Ambition and Avarice, gear list alone, if nothing else. But basically, I mean, it's to be interesting. I changed up the ability scores. That's the biggest change, perhaps. I've got 9 different ability scores.
9?
9. Yeah. So
Okay.
I mean,
Okay, Joe, you lost
what are
me.
they?
What are you doing? You're making a new RPG now?
yeah. You weren't. Where you been, motherfucker? Yeah.
Whoa! The last time I knew, you were handing us 20 pages of AD&D 2E house
Yeah.
rules.
I got
was a
tired
game
of
that was by the book. By the way,
Right.
that's
Yeah.
what I remember. We're playing by the book.
Well,
AD&D 2E.
you know.
Here's 12 pages of house rules.
You know.
Oh,
And
wait.
these
There's
unpublished
16.
house rules will stand until the next batch of unpublished house rules.
Yeah.
Well,
It's like,
All to be
here
published in
are
Blood
these-
Island in 2084.
I
Here
drew
are these 10
Blood Island.
commandments. Oh, fuck it. Here's 15, 20, 24 commandments. There won't be another one. Trust me.
Right.
So is this based off your Bronze Age rules?
No, I took everything. Greg would be proud of me. I stole from Blood Island. I stole from the Bronze Age. I stole from that Ash game I ran, Tim. With you guys. I stole from everything I've ever done before. I've even stolen from the Blood Island version that Craig Brasco edited way the hell back into a PDF that was actually somewhat publishable. I stole from everything I've ever done. And basically, I created this thing. It's my magnum opus, essentially, which kind of probably will only make sense to me, and I'll probably be the only person who likes it, but at least it's the game I could run. So the ability scores: strength, agility, con, right? Intelligence, presence, which is like sort of force of personality, looks, which is looks, perception, which I always thought should be its separate ability, willpower, which is very different than anything else. I think it always should have been there, and luck. So that's the basic ability score scheme. Then I got different things for classes and races and whatnot. But for now, I'll have enough to go forward to run a game by Friday. Hopefully, if I do nothing and don't sleep all weekend. So that should be that's the goal.
Yeah. I'm not holding my breath. One of my favorite Stephen King quotes is "Writer's right," and unfortunately, my friend, you have not able to bring it to completion.
I can read a lot of shit. I just don't publish anything, man. I write 30 pages for a campaign that I'll run for like a month and a half, and then that's it. Right?
Me telling you I wrote a book is not as good as me publishing the book.
They're writing a book and then they're making it usable for other people to use.
That's the thing. I don't think I've ever published this. I don't think I'll ever will, honestly. Maybe 10 years, who knows, 5 years, but it's not something it's not my goal to publish it. I just want to run an RPG that I like.
Well, it's a good thing we're not telling this to people who might potentially buy it. Wait.
But if I do publish it, it will be play tested. I will have killed half of these motherfuckers on the screen right now, at least a couple times, and then so it'll be well polished, But,
well, speaking of publishing, thanks for helping me helping with the edits, Joe.
Oh yeah, no problem, man. It was brain breaking, but it was fun, it was actually it's the only intellectual exercise I get, kind of during the day sometimes. So it was kind of fun.
Wow.
It's going to be good though. When are you going to do it, Rob? You got to announce it, right? Are you going to announce it here? Or are you going to?
I talked it over with Tim and a few people. We're going to do it I'm going to do it the last week of September.
All right, that's the Kickstarter you're talking about, right?
Yeah.
All right.
The Kickstarter for my How to Make a Fantasy Sandbox.
All right.
It's I am working on a color map of the island, and I'm redoing the existing maps so they're renamed because the original name was Payal, but after talking with Joe, it's going to be the island of Pade.
Yeah,
So
it was a compromise. I like Fade. He liked Payal. We kind of compromised on Fade or something. Yeah, but yeah, it's gonna be good. It was one of the few things. I mean, I buy shit tons of RPG stuff like we all do, right? But in terms of what I look back on and what is usable and good and helpful for me, there's very few things that make that list. And Rob's how to run a sandbox is one of them. Return to Lazy Dungeon Master is another. There's a very few things that make the list of this is fucking good and helpful. That's a good one. And I'm not getting paid for this shit. I just get a free copy, so I'm not trying to make money off of this shit. Hopefully I get a free copy. Rob doesn't get shit.
Remember, Joe doesn't publish and he doesn't get paid, people.
Yeah.
But he's a real professional.
What am I doing wrong here?
Well, here's the thing. So everybody go out, just go to Domanwood, drive that up to 1.5 mil or whatever.
1.5? Are they closing in on 1.5, bro?
But after you're done with your Domanwood, back my Kickstarter, and you'll learn how to make your own Domanwood.
Yeah. Good way to say it. What is Dolman up to? Dolman is 1.373.
Yeah.
And 10,700 backers. You're right, Eric, because they were about 1,000 backers less, not even 24 hours ago. 3 hours to go. Holy shit.
Now, did he have any stretch goals? I didn't even pay attention. I don't think.
Yeah, he had
They did?
some. Yeah. I wait. Now you say that. No, I don't know now.
I'm zooming through this, and I
don't see any. You're right. I see.
Yeah, I don't. And now you say that, and I thought I backed this other Kickstarter, and
Maps.
I might be getting.
There's a lot of add-ons. You can get dice.
A soundtrack album, a dice bag, a shirt.
Right.
Dolmanwood G-string.
There are stretch goals.
Okay.
So here, let's. I'm gonna pull this up.
Wow. And he hit all of them. He hit
I was going to
1.2
say
million.
that have to hit all of them.
I'm gonna pull up stretch goals because it's interesting.
I got to revisit my pledge here. I'm in for 95. I got standard and PDF. What are you guys in for?
I don't know. I'll check after I look at this. So the fungus that came to Blakeswell in PDF is included. The ruined Abbey of St. Cloud, Imelda's Song. So that's already 3 adventures. Then the fungus turns into print, and the ruined Abbey turns.
I hate when that happens.
Imelda turned into print. Then Winter's Daughter, print plus PDF. So now you're already getting 4 adventures thrown into this.
Well, Winter's Daughter's already one, isn't it? I already have that one.
All right. Online rules reference.
Oh, that'll be nice. Yeah.
Online character generator.
That'd be cool.
Why is an online rules reference a stretch goal? That should just come along for the ride. Online character generator, sure. That's extra, but
Fungal dice foraging bag.
oh no, physical goods, you're doomed.
It was a goddamn record. I mean, a physical fucking
Soundtrack
record.
album, 2 additional tracks. It's 2 additional tracks. The record's an add-on.
Right.
So I don't think that atmospheric sound loops download. Okay. Map
Cool.
book print plus PDF. Expanded print plus PDF. And that's it for the.
We're off the map at that point.
We're off the map.
Did you guys see though the ship date? The estimated delivery is September 2024.
Right. That's about what he kind of usually does about a year with his ships. Like his last Old School Essentials was pretty close to that. It was about a year. But I mean, if anybody can do physical goods, he's proven
He's pretty
it.
good.
Yeah, it's exalted. It's his exalted funeral. So
Oh, he did a box set successfully, right?
a couple, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. And I guess if that's all you do, a soundtrack and a dice bag or physical good.
Yeah, I got a whole bunch of them right there.
I'm in at 125.
I'm in at 95. You got the limited edition, Eric, huh?
Yep.
I didn't get in on this one. I guess I didn't know. I mean,
You got 3 hours, Tim.
I know, because everything he does, I really like, but I have to say, I'm just not into the face stuff to drop $100 on a setting based on face stuff.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. I mean, I was tempted a few times. It's one of those things. It's like, do I want to get it? Do I not want to get it?
Yeah.
But I still might. I don't know, because like the PDF, sometimes I just want to read through the PDFs and see how they are and whatnot. So, but I might grab them after the Kickstarter, because pretty much I've gotten into every Kickstarter that. Back when he was doing the paperback versions of what was it, BX Essentials back then, when he was.
I'm thinking about having maybe one stretch goal for my Kickstarter, in that if it hits above a certain map, I will take the setting that I use for that and draw up a version, draw up a more professional looking version of that.
What would that be of, Rob? Like you're showing us, like what does that entail with your? How does that connect with your Kickstarter that you're going to be doing?
Well, in how to make a fantasy sandbox, I didn't use my Black Marsh setting as the basic or my Majestic Waterland. I had this, Tim. You guys never ran it because you always wanted to go to City State. So I made this. This is Rob's original setting, and I made this. And where
You
is it?
talked about yourself in like the first person or some shit, didn't you?
Yes, third person.
Yeah, I drew
Third
this.
person or something. Yeah, and it was a different kind of person.
Yeah, I drew this in like 1980.
It looks like one of your old styles of maps back in the day. Yeah.
Yeah, but if I hit the goal, I'll draw this up. I won't make a supplement out of it, but I'll just people can populate it with their own kingdom if they want.
Hold on, Rob. Hold it up.
Oh, we got a screen share. Bingo.
We got a solo. We got a solo.
Oh yeah, I knew that map. Yeah.
Yeah, and the island is right
Down.
about.
We still use that,
there.
right? That's where the desert thing was for the Pharaoh thing we ran, right, Rob? In the green, in that orange area there?
No.
No? Oh, I thought it was over there. It looks familiar.
Oh, no, maybe that is it.
I will not kid you, Joe. I deliberately drew that desert there, so I could run the Pharaoh thing
Okay.
there.
All right.
In fact, the early history of this setting was based on the idea, in Pharaoh, the whole reason why that desert there and all those ruins are there because, the Pharaoh did bad things and dried up the land. Well, I used that as one of the foundational events of the early history of this setting.
Oh, that's cool, yeah.
But no, everybody wanted to go back to City State. Everybody thought it was cool that all these other groups did other things in all these other things City State, and they get to adventure and see what they can do with it.
Yeah.
And by 1990, I stopped doing anything for this. This is like my folder of stuff. I stopped adding to this in 1990. But I put a lot of work during the 80s on it. So I always kept it around.
Question, Tim. If you had to choose one system as your base, what would you do? I know you like Shadow Dark now. You were running OSE back in the day.
Right.
You did Swords and Wizardry Light. What would you do right now? One system, rest of your life, Desert Island kind of thing. What would you go for?
Geez. I could pick one system.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard to get away from.
Fatal.
Which one, Fable?
Fatal.
Fatal.
I don't know. It's hard because I'd probably just do what we all do. Probably take like Swords and Wizardry Complete, or
what's your base?
OSC, and then house rule the shit out of it.
But what's your base, Tim? What would you house rule? You know what I mean?
Dang, that's tough. I guess at this point in time, I would probably stick with old school essentials.
Okay.
As long as I can bring Gavin's books with me and everything, because I love, you can't. There's no better laid out.
Yeah, absolutely right on that.
And stuff like that. So, and I gotta take my boxes with them too. I can't leave those behind. I gotta take the books in the boxes. So. Yeah, this is what I'm working on right now. This little hand.
Hold on. We gotta do a solo. Okay.
So this is actually for my defunct Kickstarter that I'm trying to finish up.
It's not defunct. It's just not finished.
Good.
Yeah.
Did you draw the hexes yourselves, Tim?
No, those are printed. But then I draw the map and then I kind of sketch them in a little bit so you can see them better. And this is the entrance into that one dungeon or crypt that you did for me, Rob. And that it's just the outside. Needed an outside map.
You're still waffling on those trees, I see.
Well, no, these are map stamps here. These are like from another Kickstarter I did years ago. I can't do uniform trees like that. All my trees look like brains. So I think it was Matt called them like brain trees or something because they do the squiggly things in there. But yeah, it's just what's his name? Brendan Day did this Kickstarter a long time ago, and they're just stamps, and you can make these really cool maps. And I've got like everything he's done, and it's really good to be. You can make a really nice, clean map fast.
I saw the box. You took a picture. You sent it to us. This box of fucking stamps, dude. I was like,
Right.
wow, that's a lot. I thought there was like 5 stamps. I didn't realize it was like 100 stamps.
Yeah, like here, I'll show you. You can
Another screen
These
share.
are all the little small stamps, and then there's bigger stamps underneath that.
How many you got in there, Tim?
Well, I don't know. Because I bought, I think 5 different sets from them. So they all fit in here, and then there's a few in this box too. So, I mean, it's like if I need something quick, because to hand draw that would take me 3 times as long. I put these. They look nice. People really like the way they look, and it's clean. So I'm doing that for the outside because I almost have that one done, and that I'm just finishing up.
Is that the last one, man?
What's that?
Is that the last one?
The last one I'm
the
working
last
on.
little module for the Kickstarter.
No, this will be the first completed one I get done all the way through it. Everything else is in various stages of doneness and everything.
I reviewed 3 of them, I think. Edited rather.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 3 of them are all edited. And then and then all the artwork's pretty much done for everything. And then Rob, I'll probably have him. There's like one more map or 2 more maps I want to get from Rob. I just have to get him in a form so I can get Rob, and Rob whips them out pretty quick. Yeah.
I want to re-edit before you go because I edited them about a year ago.
I know.
Since doing Rob's Kickstarter, I am a name level editor at this point. I've hit 10th level. I have followers and hirelings and everything now, so I'm
leveled up big time.
I leveled up, so I want to re-edit before we go.
Let's not get carried away.
Spoken as one who's not.
Can I show one of the maps?
Stuff.
Yeah, you can show whatever map you want. Show them the one that the one with the finer details. In there, the I think it was Lady in Darkness or whichever it was, or Solemn, but that's the one I'm working on.
It's the one with 2 levels and the first level is one room with a crack in it.
Yep.
All right, got that. Gotta go
here. Take a crap.
That's your bathroom, Joe. Yeah. I put a bathroom in the crypt just.
Well, I guess you can count this as Joe complete if you hang your ass over and take a dump. So.
That's all you need.
All right, share screen. Make sure I select window.
Well, Rob's pulling us up, Greg. Do you want to sing the song you sang the other night?
No.
There we go.
I got the bonus I need, and now it's over.
Don't need it again. Don't need it during the live stream.
We actually do need it. It would get you tips, Eric.
The funny thing about this map and everything, even though it started off as a micro adventure and everything, but the 2 times that I've run this particular one, I've made some changes for the Kickstarter and everything from that, but it actually lasts, like, even though it's only really a handful of encountered rooms, it usually lasts 3 sessions.
Yeah.
Right. So around that, 2 to 3 sessions, because outside of that, that's where this map comes in. The entrance where the hole in the floor is where this map comes into play. There's a little bit of it's not really hex crawl, but just an outdoor map section to it. So
what I had fun with this map was I got to use. So I've been buying. So back in the day, in the 70s, when SPI or Avon Hill makes a war game, they use this thing called Zipatone, and you take a X-Acto knife, cut out the shape you want, and do a paste up on your board, and then you would get a photograph of that, and that's what you would send to the printer to print your game board for your war game. And a lot of early RPG maps use the same textures. And about between 2000 and 2010, you couldn't buy them anymore.
Right.
And I only had a handful like this. I don't know if you guys can see. Can you see my mouse cursor?
I don't.
No.
Okay. Well, if you look over to the right of the first level, there's like the bushes looking thing. There are trees, and all of those textured. I've been finding over the years. And Eric, if you can show me the show me. And the reason why I found them, I found a store on Etsy. This lady in England has a huge collection of these Zipatone maps.
Oh, that's right. I remember
And
those.
I've been buying them and scanning them so I can use them in my own maps.
Yeah, the damn thing of it is, if I ever saw those, just like, some guy on the street selling those things, I'm like, what the hell are those for? I would have no clue.
Yeah, you would take your X-Acto knife and cut out whatever shape or straight line, and use. I forgot how they pasted up, but this is a test of my scans to make sure they came in through clean. This is jungle. This is jungle. This is savanna. These are mud flats. But I actually bought just before the company went out of business or stopped selling them. They offered a CD, so I got about 2/3 of what I needed, and I'm able to fill in the other ones that I were missing by buying them from this lady on Etsy. And I check periodically. What?
Why would the CD have all of them though, Rob? Why wouldn't he sell a complete CD? I don't get that.
I don't know. It's some big multinational corporation called Letraset, and the CD was half damaged, but when I tried to get them to send me a new one, they said, "Oh, I'm sorry, it's discontinued." Well, I must have bought it like 3 months before they quit offering it.
Okay.
Get a map question, Rob.
Oh, Rob's in heaven. Map question.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, Matt, they don't have the digital patterns to do that. These patterns don't exist in Adobe's library or Corel's libraries. They only the whole. I mean, I assume it's because they were all found on Zipatone and nobody ever bothered buying the rights for it. And the only people who wound up continue it, that there was just a little enough business, were the Magna people, and they would buy, and they're only interested in the halftones, to get the different shades of gray that you need for Magna, because you can only print Magnas in black or white, so you have to use these dot patterns to get the different shades of gray. And they still did the paste up method, and so that kept them going. So that's why the CD was available. Letcher said, "Okay, we'll just take some of our old stuff, put them on CD while we sell these halftones." And then around 2010, they just got rid of that altogether.
It's like vintage clothing, kind of. I was on a train one time coming over from Manhattan, back when I used to work there, and I remember it's like late night, and I'm kind of half buzzed, and there's these people next to me who were kind of like dressed funky, and I couldn't quite place the funkiness. I didn't understand what it was all about, and I just started to strike up a conversation and try to find out what they're all about. And they were people who would go anywhere they could to find old clothing, specifically vintage clothing, just for the patterns, so that they could take a swatch of the dress or the shirt or the whatever the hell from 1943, and they would try to reproduce it in some way and then sell that as a new vintage, basically. You know what I mean? And that's kind of what you're talking about here. It's like vintage stuff you can't recreate with a computer, right? But you could find the old thing and just copy it and clone it and make use of it yourself. It sounds like, at least. Anyway.
If I had the money, I would hire somebody like Matt to recreate these patterns.
No, you don't want to.
Well, they wouldn't be exactly that would run into copyright, but I would have them come with something, an equivalent.
Yeah. Go for Dyson, Rob. You're better off.
Huh?
Go for Dyson. You're better off. Let's see if
I didn't hear you, Joe. So
I said go for Dyson. You're better off than Matt. Let's
Oh.
see if he wakes up from that one. He's taking a nap, probably. His bedtime nap.
Didn't he just ask the question? Or
Yeah, but
No,
he-
that
No,
was
that was
Wizard Tower
Don.
Games.
That was
Yeah.
Don with the tower. That wasn't.
Rob has the right beliefs to hire Dyson. The rest of us are too roguish.
Oh, really? Roguish?
Well, you just have to take Dyson's already available stuff. Then just work from that. But
oh, I'm sorry. That was Wizard Tower Game, not Matt.
Yeah. Oh, Matt has though. Matt did comment. I guess he woke up from his nap, changed his depends undergarments, and then he went back to bed. So he commented a little bit though. Yeah. Let's see if he gets back into the chat.
Rob, I'll connect you and Don later after the show. He says he could probably help you, and you do it for free.
Oh wow. Damn.
I'll make those connections because that's what I do. I'm like a Jewish matchmaker for the OSR.
Or an OSR pimp. Huh?
OSR pimp. Perfect. Oh my God, you got to change your title. OSR pimp.
Not a pimp. Jewish matchmaker. I find people, I bring them together.
It's less intimidating than the Moyle of the OSR, I guess, right?
Yeah. And besides which, Grim Jim is the one that usually is pimping in the OSR.
That's
right?
true. He took over from Zach, right?
Yeah.
So he started going the pimp route.
He just and listen, when I was working in the late '90s, I actually pulled over a car that was old style pimps.
Really?
Pink convertible
No
Cadillac with a gold suit
Oh.
and a purple suit.
Was the guy's name Huggy Bear on his license? Did it say
No,
Huggy?
no. But they did tell me and my partner at the time that they knew a certain sergeant and they were friends with him.
Oh.
And they should be able to just leave. And we we don't work for the precinct, we work for the borough. And I need your license, registration, proof of insurance. Thank you. And we wrote the guys, the sergeant's gonna take care of this. I'm like, that's fine. We went back to our sergeant, and the sergeant in question had like 25 years on. And we were like, hey, John, this is what happened. And John's like,
cover your ass there, man.
He goes, all right, not a problem. 2 days later, the sergeant with 25 years on announced he was retiring immediately.
Holy shit. Huggy Bear fucked him over, huh?
Yeah, no.
Pictures.
Because it was going to come out that if you're on this guy's payroll, you're looking at, you had a choice. You could either leave. Mm-hmm. We did what we were supposed to do was notify a supervisor, and our supervisor took care of it within house, I guess. Stupid is as stupid does. Man, if that's what you're socializing with, it's going to come back and bite you in the ass.
Huggy Bear
All I can say. And no, not the pimp. I said the Jewish matchmaker, like you always see her. They think of me as like from when Harry met Sally, but I'm like the Jewish matchmaker in the background, and I bring people together. Unless they already hate me, in which case I don't bring them together.
Oh yeah.
Eric, can you post that link for Wizard Tower Games?
Yep. I will post it.
We got another question up there.
I'm getting to it, god damn it.
Got another one?
No, this is just a general question, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Eric, the pimp of the OSR.
Oh my god.
Names there, huh?
Have you all ran or played Traveler? If so, have you seen the Merchant campaign come alive? A campaign where an emergent narrative arises from the elements of space trucking and escaping debt. Mythic, I will say this. I really liked Traveler when I was in my youth in high school and in my early college days, and my players liked it in concept. They didn't like it in execution.
I was about to give the exact same answer.
Yeah. They liked the idea of Traveler, and then they played Traveler, and it was like, well, first off, you'd get the what the fuck? I died in character generation. What the fuck?
But that was the funnest part of Traveler.
Oh, no, don't get me wrong. I would cut class with me and a friend would roll up Traveler characters in a stairwell up by the roof, and we were supposed to be in a class. So don't get me wrong, that was fun, and I was the only one willing to run it. But my players were like, how do I get better at anything? I'm like, you don't. What do I do? You accumulate shit. Like, yeah, but in real life, I get better at stuff and accumulate shit. I go, listen,
Right.
you're 60 years old and traveler
That's right.
when you start adventuring. Well, why would I start adventuring at 60? Listen,
Right.
I don't fucking know, okay? But
Especially
this
when
is-
you're 20 years old, you thought, all those guys at 45 are so freaking old.
Yeah.
Why would you go
Oh,
adventuring then?
That's right. When I used to make my characters, I remember I wrote. There was one guy I created a wizard who was 30. I'm like, wow, he's really, really
Right.
old.
I had
Uh,
I had a pretty successful traveler character until one of the players had a moment.
a sexy moment.
is that just good? You just gonna let it linger
I
there?
was about to
say,
Just gonna let that go.
Let's just say a certain friend,
Oh, a certain friend on top of it.
That were getting
yeah,
hot.
a certain friend
Elected.
elected not to play nice. So
Oh,
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 Kill him?
right, I know what you're talking about now. Yeah,
it's
no,
got to be the same guy who always fucked your game up ever for 30 years, right, guys?
no, he didn't fuck it up for 30. He just
No?
no.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
The trick was I mashed up with the merchant campaign. I sprinkled clues from the Mongoose. I ran Classic Traveler, but I used some of the Mongoose adventure stuff, and I sprinkled things from the event Secrets of the Agent or Ancients, so that it made it more than just a merchant campaign.
Oh, what? No, that was Babylon 5. You and I ran that one time, right?
What?
You and I, that wasn't a traveler campaign. You and I did that one time. That was something to do with Babylon 5. The one where I asked, oh no, and that was GURPS. Never mind. Now
Yeah, that was the campaign where the Holy Grail turned out to be a ladder.
Yeah.
A ladder?
whoa,
What?
And this is before Matt. Let me get this straight. This is before Matt became part of this.
Long time. It was
horrible
BM before Matt. Yeah,
Oh,
BM. Now moving.
I had a very good PM right before the show.
Oh God.
Yeah,
I mean,
so I ran this Babylon 5 campaign, and the central mystery, it lasted for what, a handful of sessions, Tim?
yeah, I'd say it was 5 to 6 sessions. It was just, I think, just one-on-one. I think between, and that was it.
And the players were after what they realized was going to be the Holy Grail, but what it was, the word that everybody thought the Holy Grail was a cup, but that was a mistranslation. The Holy Grail was the ladder that when they took Jesus down from the cross, they put him on this ladder like a stretcher to carry him to his tomb, and the ladder was the Holy Grail.
Dude, you just created the greatest fan fiction Indiana Jones Matt Jackson mashup of all time.
It's true.
Well, what am I missing about Matt Jackson in this? And
The ladder.
You get from the ladder.
oh my God! Okay, now I get it.
Out of everybody,
There we
you
go. I was like, oh my God, you had this end. 5K. There seems to be a lot of sci-fi chatter in the community at the moment. Have we all got to a point where we need a break from fantasy? It's cyclical, right? I'll be honest with you. Here's the thing. When I enjoy my reading fiction, I enjoy reading fantasy more than science fiction. When it comes to watching movies or TV, I enjoy science fiction over fantasy because usually fantasy is done pretty shittily on TV with very few exceptions, or in the movies. It
100% agreed on that.
Okay, it's all right. So when it comes to gaming, I am more attuned to playing with. Oh, we lost the Greg.
Joe.
Well, we lost Joe.
Lost Joe. Sorry.
Oh,
Decided to go to the bar early, I guess.
Yeah. But when it comes to gaming, I'm more in tune with the fantasy aspect because my mind is already used to filling in the blanks because of all the reading I used to do that was mostly geared toward fantasy. I feel it's more comfortable to me. I've yet to find a science fiction game that I can get as immersed in as I do fantasy RPGs.
Well, the best single session of role playing that I was ever able to run was a Star Trek, the role-playing game, BASA, back in college. I ran this adventure. It involved time travel, and the players really enjoyed it. And they were just as they put all the pieces together. One of the players, and he played the science officer, and he was a communications major, and he had one of those voices for radio that just sounds great. His name was Ray, and he goes, "Wait a minute, should we be doing this?" And everybody turned to him, said, "What? Look, we spent 3 months in this alternate timeline. If we do this, we're wiping out all of their existence. We're going to be killing them. We'll be killing trillions of people." And then the whole room just erupted in debate that only college age gamers can get into. And it lasted for 2 hours. And the guy who was playing the captain, there's one point he was just like this. And he had this stricken look on his face. I don't know what to do. I have no answer. What do I do? And ultimately the group decided to go back and stop the Klingons from changing the timeline. But
stay tuned to Bat in the Attic for more tales of epic nerdery.
But that was the best single role-playing session I ever ran. And I tried to get the group, I tried to get you guys interested in Star Trek over the years, or Tim interested, and the answer is always no.
Well, and it wasn't that I tried. I don't know why. I've tried to get into science fiction and just doesn't click.
Right.
I mean, I like cyberpunk. I like, the Western theme stuff. Pretty much any other genre I'm good with, and it's not like, you haven't run good games. It wasn't because of a particular system, because we tried it in GURPS, we tried it in the FASA, we tried it in what was the other one we used? Well, Traveler. There was another system we tried for a while, but I just
not Space Master. I ran a Space Master campaign, but Rollmaster and Space Master were games that worked well if you had 2 to 3 players, because it slowed more than that. Combat slowed down far too much.
That's all we realized most of the time.
But when you only had a small group, for like 6 months, we knew we were going to have a small group.
Yeah,
something like that meant that you had 2 or 3 characters could cover all the needed skills. Where in a game that is D20 based, you couldn't do that because it was class based.
Oh, Pegasus had a Trek game.
Oh, it was the Majestic Stars, Tim. Remember, I wrote my own age.
Yes, that was a long time ago. Holy crap!
I still have all of it.
The age system. That's right. Yeah. Because we did. Because I was kind of got into the Well, it was Dragon Age first, and then they had their. Right. I guess they're coming out with their second edition now of Fantasy Age, and I did like that system quite a bit. That was an interesting system.
Yeah, Joe was asking about, what would I play with if I had one thing to play. It would be a mashup of Age, some of the ideas from Age mashed up with some of the ideas from Fudge, using GURPS, not taking stuff from GURPS, but using that kind of like a template, the outline of GURPS, and basically a 3D6 based skill system that with traits or gifts or whatever we call advantages in there. And I think we come to the agreement that everybody's just going to choose disadvantage. So role play how you're going to role play. Screw giving you points for it. But yeah, that's what I would go. 3D6. I miss GURPS. I miss using 3D6.
I've been playing a lot of sci-fi lately.
I was gonna say, aren't you running an Aliens campaign?
Yeah, I've run 3 different Alien modules. I've run.
Those were fun.
A bunch of. I played in a whole Pirates of Drinax campaign where I was a player. That was awesome. I got guys in my Saturday night group that I I don't think any of you guys have. Eric knows some of them from back in the G Plus days.
Oh wow.
People like David Prisabilla.
Oh, David.
Yeah.
David P. Yeah.
He's a good guy.
So we rotate GMs like every 6 to 12 weeks.
Oh, that's cool.
And then play a different thing. So we'll play one guy will run, like David runs a campaign that he's writing that is based on that hex crawl that I wrote, Terra Invicta, and it's the island to the south of the hex crawl. So you could like add it to my map if you wanted.
Oh, that's cool.
And we've been playtesting that, and then he needs some time. He hasn't written enough material. We've run out what he's got current. We'll switch out. Somebody will run. There's another David in the group who's likes to run this like sci-fi future campaign. So we just kind of moving all around and play different stuff. We played some Western stuff. We played I forget the name of the it's like Dungeon Crawl Classics, but for kind of Wild West time frame.
Oh God, I have it too. Oh, I know what you're talking about.
And
You have everything there.
we stopped the cult run by Mary Todd Lincoln. It was pretty awesome.
Something Frontiers, Dark Frontiers.
Yeah, something like that. Something
Okay.
Frontiers. And we just recently started up a Gangbusters campaign set in the 1920s.
How's that one so far, Greg?
The first session was fantastic. We were all prisoners of war in World War I at a German POW camp. And
Is
we
that
had
Mark Hunt's edition that you're playing?
yeah, Mark Hunt.
Yeah.
And we did a kind of great escape to get out of the
That's cool.
POW camp. And my son plays in the Saturday night game. I have half and half custody of him, so every other week he's in there, and he was one of the guys who stole a German uniform, and I ended up. They had the tunnel ready to go. I had found out from one of my guys that I'd befriended that the Germans were gonna kind of turn the tables on them and reveal, catch everybody digging the tunnel the next day. And I had been working on a little plot with oil rags and a lighter. So I lit the workshop on fire.
Oh, shit.
And in the chaos, my son's character puts on the German uniform and just walks out of the camp.
Nice.
So he walks out. Everybody else goes down the secret tunnel and all of that. So then we're going back home after the war to now actually run the campaign. So it was a really good kind of first session idea. Everything kind of really came together for that time period. So stuff like that. Like I try to keep it. I know like people like Joe who like only want to play fantasy, medieval, like Tolkien fantasy, even like
that's it.
It has
you nailed
forever.
It.
Like I'm like,
Forever.
dude, let's move the F on. And then you were talking about you were going to run Bronze Age stuff, and then we start going in, and you had almost just give bronze to medieval people. You didn't run like a bronze.
I know. It was the worst failing in that was the religion. I cut it out, and I realized it was so instrumental to the whole setting that shouldn't have cut it out. And then I just stopped running it.
You write good stuff. You run the good sessions. I'm just like I wouldn't have called it a Bronze Age game. Like to me, Bronze Age is like sword and sandal, and you've got ziggurats or pyramids. Like So
I had weed. Like, I don't think I had cigarettes.
I don't know.
Ziggurats.
Ziggurats.
Ziggurats. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm with Greg here.
I just get tired of it after a while.
Yeah.
It's nice to do different things. And like one of my favorite games that I did as an alternative was an Exoterrorist game. We've talked about in the past, but it was it's a very loose rules game, and you're basically kind of, I guess the best would be like sort of like an X-Files, only like with or supernatural, extraterrestrials, ultra-terrestrials, whatever, cryptids, anything. So, I love doing that elements of it too. So, that's,
I forgot 2 awesome games. David P. Also ran Helldivers campaign several times, which was fantastic. Helldiver, I've never even read these books, but there's this whole series of books where there's like a post-apocalyptic setting where the world is covered in kind of like a fog and a radioactiveness, kind of like a Fallout setting.
Right.
But the people have survived by living on basically blimp cities or towns. So like the blimp will float around and people will drop down using like parachute type equipment. They're the Helldivers, and they go down in through this cloud to the actual surface and gather supplies and then get tow cabled back up to the blimp.
That's a cool thing.
And super cool idea. Like so he could design like a ruined medical center, and we drop down in and we're going through the medical center, and like there's mutated stuff, there's like fungus that's dangerous, all kinds of stuff from like a Fallout type thing. But then when we're done, we clip on and zip back up to the blimp. It was really cool. And then I'm also gearing up for Walking Dead. My son is huge into Walking Dead. I've been watching the series very recently because I'm writing some material for the RPG that's about to come out, and I don't want to get the setting wrong and the way that things should feel. And so I've been doing that a lot lately, the past month. But the Kickstarter, I already have the PDFs are already out for everybody that backed it, but the hardbacks are coming out in November, and we got a special edition one for my son. Went in for as one of his birthday presents, and I was like, "You're gonna wait a year for your birthday present?" He was like, "This is what I want," and it's like a special edition with the bloody handprint on the front. Yeah, super cool. So
does it have Ken Whitman's signature?
It does not. No Ken Whitman on there, unfortunately. But so I'm looking forward to that. I'm writing a setting in LA, and so I've made a map of the greater metro area, and I'm populating the stuff. I don't want to kind of cast shade on the guys doing the Kickstarter, but the materials that they've put together have been really putting a lot of weight on the GM. They give a few examples of things, and then you're supposed to come up with your own rather than provide a good set of there's no keep on the borderlands essentially to run this thing very well. They have some starter stuff, but to me it just leaves a lot in the hands of a GM that if they're an inexperienced GM, they're just not going to know how to build everything out very well. So I've started writing this LA setting. I found out that there's a Mexican frigate Corvette, they purchased surplus from the United States that they renamed to the Romero. So
as in Caesar from Batman.
As in the famous zombie director. So movie director. So I put that in there. Stuff like that. I've just been researching on that lately. I haven't even been thinking about Tolkien at all, Joe. I know it makes you cry.
It does. It really does.
Hobbits in LA.
No hobbits. Oh, wait. Wasn't there a game that said no elves? That was like what? Talas?
Yeah, what was that game?
Talas? Whatever. That was it wasn't Jaroon. It was another one that was fantasy without elves. And by the way, I just realized Kevin Crawford, if you backed his last Kickstarter, Cities Without Numbers. Yeah. He announced he's shared a draft of the upcoming SRD for Cities Without Number. It's going to be released in the Creative Commons on drive-through on Monday. So if you, I love the whole series of stuff. Kevin's work is awesome. I've never run it, but if you could run Stars Without Number, we can run any of his things very easily. And the way the books are written, they generally generate their own adventure ends for you. It's a really great system. for him to open that up as a system resource document, put it out in the Creative Commons, that is spot on,
Right.
awesome.
He's never done that before, has he?
No, he actually said that he never really thought about putting out an SRD or sharing it in the Creative Commons or as an OGL, because he just figured you can't copyright rules anyway. So if anybody wanted to use his rules, they would probably just use it. Now, I know going back almost a decade, I was still working at the time. A smaller publisher wanted to do work on off of Stars Without Number, do another system off it. Wanted me involved in a project. It never got off the ground. I don't know what the hell happened. The publisher fell off the. I just because I was very psyched and happy with everything that was being done by Mr. Crawford.
Right.
Sinomine. I don't know. I never know how to pronounce his company's name.
No, I'm not sure either. Yeah.
But it just produces some excellent stuff, and he always puts out the core rules for every new game he does
For free, yeah.
for free in PDF. I mean, that's somebody who gives back to the community.
And he offers up the art packets too for free.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if the art packets are being offered up in this one because I think some of it was AI art.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
not sure on that.
Yeah,
but
because the past ones he had.
Yeah, he always has done that stuff. Kevin's just been very generous to the community.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
I played a small part in convincing him to release a formal SRD. It wasn't the problem. Wasn't not him. He was being open enough in what you said, Eric. But the problem is clarity. You know, it's just verbal consent like that just isn't good enough. And I found a way to put that point to him without, not saying, oh, people don't trust your word, but it just putting out an SOD clarifies the situation for everybody all concerned. So that's great that he's doing that.
Yeah, because the City Without Numbers, that's like Cyberpunk setting.
Yes.
Because I got the free version on PDF, haven't had a chance to look, but I mean, his random tables are worth the price alone, let alone anything else.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you can generate so much stuff with it.
However, if you ever play that, Tim, no more crushing Decker or Netrunner's decks, okay, Tim?
No promises. No promises. I'm gonna crush them all.
I gotta say, Greg, there was one game that was back in the Flail Snails days that I enjoyed that was not Tolkienish, and it was Gus LaRue. Remember him, guys?
Yeah.
He had a fantastic blog, Dungeon of Science. Eric, I'll click the link in the. Here's the link in the our private chat that you could stream it out. And he ran this strange fucking thing that I thought was amazingly imaginative and fun as shit. It was It was basically. Now, Gus is a real smart guy and a fantastic artist. I remember playing with him in a game, and we used to back then. The games were like, "Hey, if you write a write up after the campaign, you get 100 extra XP." And Gus is like, "Can I draw a picture instead?" I'm like, "Yes," because he was a great artist. It was fantastic.
Right.
He would just sit there and sketch as he was playing the game and never lose his attention. And so he created.
Craig Brasco does that. Yeah.
It was amazing.
Oh,
I can't draw a stick figure to save my life. And this guy is creating fucking amazing things while playing. And he created this thing called the Apollyon. It was a ship in the middle of nowhere, and the ship, picture the Titanic, 5 times the size, and you're like, it has this weird, like, sociological system on board of refugees on this weird ghost ship sailing through the endless plains, and you're exploring the ship for things to salvage to survive. And it was just fun. The entire concept was fun. The game was fun. He was a great DM, and it was just really, really cool. I wish he would ever publish that thing. But I sent you a link there to the Apollyon. And a funny thing, I look back and I'm like, wait, when did I play? 2013 maybe. And I found the first blog post he wrote about his rules changes he was going to make, and I'm all over the comments back then. Because it was just a fun fucking game 10 years ago. I don't know if he ever published anything though in terms of that. I wish he did. I really do.
Well, here's just a point to make. I mean, 10 years ago, right? I mean, we everybody here has been pretty much heavily involved in this shit for at least the last 10 years.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember when the first Contessa was going to be a huge event, and it was a huge event. But it had issues because they were wanting to record everything and put it up on YouTube.
I didn't do it. That's why I didn't do it.
It's why I wouldn't do it. And I mentioned that a lot of us have jobs where we don't. It's not even what we're going to say. It was what somebody else might say.
Yes.
No?
Yeah. Then we're guilt by association. This is pre-cancel culture too.
Yeah.
We were just aware enough to realize it ain't gonna be good.
Yeah.
You know. So I mean, but that's how far a lot of the stuff goes back. I mean, Kevin's stuff. I think started with that numbers at least 10 years ago.
Oh yeah.
And he's been this generous since the beginning. So I mean, he really. I would love to see his stuff get more traction.
Yeah.
Again, his Kickstarters are always successful. Don't get me wrong, but he deserves a lot more success. And I believe he's going to be kickstarting Worlds Without Number again with a new high-end printing of the book. I should double check my email real quick. Yes. Worlds Without Number Offset Edition, expected on the 1st of October. Backers receive not only a freshly printed Smithsonian bound copy of the book, but also a PDF of the new WWN Mini Gazetteer for the Diocese of Montfort in Courant, built to be a plug-and-play intro setting for new WWN campaigns.
I just backed. Oh, I backed Cities Without Number. That's what I backed.
Yes.
I know.
Yep.
I just something of his.
Yeah, I've backed everything that he's done. I own everything, most of it in print.
Yeah.
I don't know if I own the whole Stars Without Number, the support material in print, but I own all his core books. I mean, he just incredible work, man, and
It's good stuff.
And his Kickstarters, you know, he'll give you a date that's a realistic date as to when it's due.
Yeah.
And he's always early.
Right. Yeah, he always early. Yeah.
Is he one of the guys who already has it written all the time?
Yeah.
Like it's written and he's just doing art and
or it's written and
layout issues.
And he'll do revisions.
Yeah.
So like as the project's going on, you'll get updates, you'll get revisions, he'll add stuff. But the core of it is done before he starts. But you know, when I say the core, that's what's going to be like the free copy.
Yeah.
Yeah, quick start.
It's not a quick start. You know, if
I mean like that kind of level of you're going to have that already.
We'll have something. Yeah, I mean,
Smart way to do it.
He's smart. We've communicated a couple of times via back in the G Plus days, and I believe during email once or twice.
Just think about that. I really miss G Plus. It was good until it got bad.
Well, you know,
the problem with it was that it was designed with the user in mind, Joe. See, they wanted a system that was designed with the advertiser in mind.
Yes.
And the Google Plus was too responsive to the user's preferences.
Yep.
So they couldn't say that. So they had to kill it for no reason with no notice, no explanation.
Right.
It was too good for the user. Yeah. It has to be designed for the people who pay the bills.
I couldn't monetize it, so like, fuck it, let's kill it. Now we're paying $5 a month to keep the fucking servers up, wherever the hell they were doing.
Do you have your microphone above your head, Joe?
Yeah, something's fucked up.
Is it fading away there?
Yeah, it sounds like we're talking to your forehead again.
Sorry, it moves on it sometimes.
I was like Joe's in the shitter and he's talking.
Right, I was wondering that too. Do I want to go there?
I proudly announce that.
You probably should.
Here's the flush. Can you guess where I was?
It's like Archie Bunker, like All in the Family. You're gonna hear the fucking flush, man.
Oh my God.
That's right.
Archie, your courtesy plus flush, please. Oh God, hopefully.
Hey guys, 1 week, and most of us will be together somewhere in Connecticut, right?
Somewhere.
For only Greg.
Yeah, Greg, you motherfucker.
Well, Matt's not coming either.
Right.
He's a bitch. He doesn't want to pay up. That's why he's not coming up here. I won the fucking bet. I got the goddamn 1,000 fucking followers on YouTube before he did, and the bet was he would donate. Whoever wins would donate $100 to the other guy's favorite charity, and also at ShireCon this year buy the other person a big ass dinner and drinks, whatever they wanted. So of course I won because he's Matt and I always beat Matt. So I fucking won. And the motherfucker is, I can't show up. I got a hangnail or some other bullshit excuse. Right? So he's like, he's not going to fucking show up. And so here we are. Now he doesn't want to pay up. We all send money up with Tim. Fuck you, bitch. Pay. I know you're coming up next year. I'm going to eat that fucking prime ribeye, whatever the hell it is, with all my high-end drinks in front of you and gloat as the drool runs down my chin and you pay for my meal, bitch. That's it. That's how it's going. No, you're going to come up here next year and do that shit.
Wait a minute, Joe, stop. I don't think you're telling us how you really feel about this.
No, I won. He sucks and he has to pay. That's pretty much in summary.
Summation of the situation.
Yeah. He doesn't want to pay up in person. It was some nonsense excuse for having to move his kids somewhere. Fuck that, man. I get it though. He's
so what games are you playing in, Eric, over there?
Yes.
At the convention.
Well, I fucking remember when I registered for.
I know you registered for Joe's because we got to harass Joe as he's.
And I'm Ian McCartney's. I think he's doing the Western DCC. I think Rachel and I are in that. Mm-hmm. And then I'm running a game, so that's 3 slots. I need to leave a little time for social day. I'm in one game on Friday, and I'm running one and in one on Saturday.
Yep.
Right. Is Ian going to be there then, huh?
McCartney's going to be there.
Cool. Yeah. I've talked to him, but I've never met him. That's what it's going to be with a lot. Well, never met either one of you. I've never Rob, forever, but never met. I've known Eric, I think, pretty much since we started our blogs back in the day.
We started pretty much around the same time.
Yeah, same time.
And it was the professionals like Rob, like with his bat in the attic shit. Like JoetheLawyer's Wondrous Imaginings, Brugnardia, and others that were intimidating for so it's like, but at least this Tim guy from Pennsylvania is intimidating.
Fellow amateur.
I never really count myself as intimidated.
But Rob, you had great content. Joe had great content. Brugnardia had great content. There were other blogs.
I didn't. That's why I wasn't intimidated.
No. That's not what I'm saying. But I look at Rob and go, "Oh my God, he's been doing this for how long?" That's like I look at Tim and go, "Oh, Tim's been doing this for about as long as I have." I feel better now.
Yeah.
It's so. I mean, Joe. I just enjoyed watching Joe inadvertently stir shit up in different communities.
Oh yeah, he was such a. That's why I never really
inadvertently. Yes,
inadvertently. It's like Joe's like, "What me? Was I the one in the kind of shop? Never." Yeah,
I had some anger issues back then. I've been meditating since. I've gotten over that stuff.
Lies.
It's good.
Lies, all lies.
The reason I started the blog was because I was posting long form posts over on the World. Like a lot of you can probably still find them somewhere, but there were long posts and people would complain your shit's too long. Why don't you go post in World had a blog forum area or something?
Oh, I remember that.
Right.
Yeah.
So I posted some over there, and they're like, "Your shit's too long for this too." I'm like, "Well, fuck you, assholes." So I just created a blog and Blogger, and I'm like, "All right, I'll just post the same shit over here." And it happened to be coinciding with the same time the OSR thing was kicking off, So it was just more like everybody was kicking me out. I had to post somewhere.
Your last resort.
I had to do my own
You're
thing.
not welcome here, sir. Form your own club, damn it.
Yeah.
You're not welcome.
Yeah, and I remember I let the exodus of World, and I went to RPG site because it was the place of refugees and renegades and fucking undesirables. And it was the Mos Eisley of the OSR, basically. You know what I mean? so I'm there, and it was oh, another World refugee. I'm like, fuck you. I think my tagline then was World refugee too, but it was fuck you, bitch. Then I fit right in because you say fuck you, bitch, as somebody calls you out on your shit. So it was nice. That was the kind of place he ran, though. It was good back then. You could say whatever, and it would always evolve into fights, and then it would just never end there, though. There was no accusations and name calling and you're a Yahtzee and all this other shit. It just kind of ended. It was kind of cool, It was like Irish brothers. They beat the fuck out of each other and have a beer the next day. It was that kind of thing, you know?
Well, and it was. You could have a disagreement. You could have an argument, and then you could still go, all right, you know what? You're wrong, but I'll still buy you a drink afterwards.
Yeah.
Now it's you're wrong. Your mother's wrong. Your father's sperm was perverted. And I hope your children die in the womb.
Yeah.
What can I do?
And 37 generations ago, you father-owned slaves. Therefore,
right?
It's that kind of thing. You know what I mean? It's like, what the fuck,
So
this is a humbling figure from my blog. I guess I have 3 million views since 2009.
Wow, I took my blog down a long time ago.
My most popular post is how to make a fantasy sandbox with 184,000 views.
Look how Rob slides that plug in, like all slide and shit. See that? That was pretty slick. I gotta say. Just like
here I'm gonna slide in a plug. Trail.
The humble angle.
What is this?
Trail of Cthulhu, which is the gumshoe system.
Yep.
Which is a lot less onerous, I understand, than classic Call of Cthulhu. Trail of Cthulhu is on sale on Humble Bundle.
Look at how good I am too. So
there you go. He's ready for it.
Nice.
It's a good-looking book. I don't own this stuff.
It's good. I mean, if anybody's ever tried the gumshoe system, it's definitely worth taking a look at and everything.
Eric, put the link
in
the
I would
chat.
say this about gumshoe.
Okay.
The system itself, like as a package, it's like a math. But that thing that they do about clues, when Tim ran it and finally able to explain it to me, it was like Moses coming down through the mountain.
I agree, Rob.
Solved so many problems.
This is the one that said give the clues and let them figure out what to do with them, right? It's that system.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree. Tim, you turned me on to that way back too, and I was like, wow, this is something else.
And it's
Teach me, Master Tim.
That's right. I will.
It's part of my Majestic Fantasy RPG because I said when you make a skill roll, if you have the time or the resources, you will succeed. But you don't know how long it would take you to succeed. Okay, and of course, if there's something of real that would have some damaging consequences, like Tim trying to climb a castle wall, even though it's a trivial task, and he kept rolling ones and falling.
That's because you kept on telling me not to roll a one, and that just curses me to roll a one every single time.
A 5% chance, Tim, and then to do it.
You could tell me that with a D100, and I would still roll a one.
Yes, that's true. But
classic, truly.
But it really, I think, made the campaigns flow a lot better. I mean, Greg, Joe, you experienced it when I ran the campaign. Yeah. What did you guys think of how I
liked it? I used this system into something else. Because I remember asking Tim, or you guys, all of you guys, I said, hey, I got to do like a problem-solving mystery in the city thing. And you guys, I think Tim said it first, and you guys all backed it up as to that gumshoe system. And I came across some PDFs on the matter, and I was like, wow, this is the shit. This is really, you're right, Rob. It just makes a lot of fucking sense.
Because players complicate things on their own. You don't need to
give them the clue, let them fuck it up.
Because years ago, do you guys remember Trey Causey?
Yes.
He's the one who did Strange Tales, I think was his.
Oh yeah, I still have that up on my shelf. I'm not going to pull it out, but it's one of the more beautiful ones. Books of the early OSR.
He had his own because he was running games in his settings, and I learned a lot from him too by watching him kind of run these investigation things. Because this is based off of Pulp Fiction, so it was kind of fun running through it. I just played this brutal. I called Boris the Bagger. He was like this, I don't know, kind of Soviet just muscle guy who had no problems about ripping off kneecaps and things, and all these other guys would always try to come up with these elaborate plans to solve things, and Boris would just hold up his shotgun. He goes, "You always listen to the man with the shotgun." Solve problems.
You tend to play a violent sociopath in quite a few games there, Tim. Just noticing. Just saying.
I have to say it, guys, though. I think the OSR has turned the corner. Now we're waxing nostalgic about the early days of the OSR, not just back in the 70s and 80s.
Well, yeah, but I mean, think about it. It's what we're talking about. You started what 2008 with it? I think Eric and I started 2009ish or something like that.
I gotta look it up now. I gotta see when my first post was.
But so what is that? 14 years. Think about it when we first started playing D&D. I started in 79. 79 brings me into 93. That's like huge. I mean, how many editions of D&D formed in that amount of time too?
Yeah, no, you're right. 2008 doesn't count. I had like a holder post. 2009 is when I really started blogging. Yep. Holy shit.
Well, I do think that there's some nostalgia in a lot of people, Rob, but I do also think there's a clear kind of philosophical peg to hang your hat on that makes OSR people the way they are. It's not just, oh, I have fond memories of this or that game. I mean, I have fond memories of games I played last week that use the same kind of logic that I want out of a game from 1985. You know, it's not just like I just kind of bristle at it because of how people throw that at the OSR of like, you know, you guys are just nostalgic for the way you were when you were a kid.
We won the point, Greg. So we don't need to apologize for our use of nostalgia in any shape or form. But I understand where you're coming from. It's still annoying when you run into it occasionally.
There's my first post, guys. I just went back because I turned off my blog, but I still have it. You know what I mean?
Right.
And there's my first post, April 10th, 2009. Welcome.
Where did you share?
I just shared it there.
Oh, I see.
It's just that was so April. I wanted to see when the date was. April 10th, 2009.
That
was it.
Mine.
That was my first.
Now we're all gonna look, aren't we?
Now you gotta look.
Oh, jeez. Now I got.
What was my?
Not that the mine's. Oh, look, Matt has a blog. I didn't know Matt had a blog.
What? He has a blog?
I didn't know that.
He's reading girl books.
XP. Here's the post. The old Bard. I remember that. That was fun. I had a whole system of getting laid and avoiding venereal diseases. Thoughts on the old school movement. Oh my God. All right. I kind of got to look at this.
So mine was April 2009 also.
Mine was
weird.
Mine was October 1st, 2008. And I told my bat in the attic story.
Look at this. Look at my last paragraph in my very first post on what is the OSR. Edit. There was an old school smell in the air these days, isn't there? With Monty Cook doing his mega dungeon thing. I think that was the Poultice thing. With Eric Mona doing Planet Stories. And with the growing membership in old school boards and the popularity of sites like Ragnardia, it seems there's something going on. I think the edition changed, 4th edition, gave many an opportunity to look around and decide what sort of game they're really looking for and play it. Wow. That's a whole fucking throwback there, man. That's kind of fun.
And that's your first post?
That was one of my first posts, Eric. That was XP for the Bards. I started the board in April 10th, and this is April 10th. Yeah, it was one of my first posts. It looks like.
You started 9 days before me. I was April 19th, 2009.
Oh shit!
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, here my first post was May 31st, and it was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do, but maybe I'm gonna.
Well, yeah, nobody did. What the hell?
Yeah.
I still say that every time I write something.
Yep.
Yeah. But yeah, good grief.
Yeah, one of my popular posts was an early one in 2009 where I said I talked about what the OSR meant to me, and I got such a reception I kind of put it at the top of my sidebar. To me, the old school Renaissance is not about playing a particular set of rules in a particular way, the dungeon crawl. It's about going back to the roots of our hobby and seeing what we could do differently, what avenues that were not explored because of the commercial and personal interests of the game designers of the time.
Yeah. It's interesting that pretty much we're all from that same generation.
Yep.
You know, it's just that
Wow.
some of us like Joe hit the ground with like 2 feet, 4 legs, just out of the gate going fast.
I was angry.
And
I was
all
gonna
right.
say,
Some anger issues.
I mean, like I know my first post that got any kind of real traction was a review of the Grinding Gear by James Raggi.
Uh,
And
it was
my
one of his more useful things. I played that. I ran
Oh,
that
yeah.
once actually.
to me that was a tomb of horrors that you could actually survive.
Yes. You might if you played it right.
Right.
Correct.
And then the next thing that got really bumped me from wherever I was to a next level was reviewing the Pathfinder beginner box for Pathfinder 1.8.
oh,
And
yeah.
Really?
oh my God, that got picked up on the Paizo site and it went wildfires. It's I still look at that box and I'm amazed at what you got for the money that you put in.
I still got mine too.
It's a game. It's a Pathfinder game I would play. I would feel comfortable running. It didn't feel onerous. It didn't feel bloated. It felt.
No.
I would like. They could have done it. They could have done an expert box, and I would have bought the expert box.
Yeah, I thought the same thing. Yeah.
Wow. One of my very last blog posts, 2022, the epic Tim Shorts and Rob Connolly joint interview.
What?
It can't be 2022. It must be this date. Must be when I turned it off. I bet you. You know what I mean? But yeah, one of my last posts on my blog was talking about your interview when I interviewed you on the podcast. Remember that, guys?
Yeah. I remember you had your own podcast.
Sure. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, here's one. It's Matt Jackson's 78th birthday. Everybody go wish him happy birthday. All right, I remember that.
Somehow in 2009, I managed to write 309 posts, and in 2010, I wrote 301.
Wow.
God.
We had brain cells left back then, man.
My blog production has gone down. You know how insane I was. 2011, 826, 2012, 11.
You were just a crazy
1115.
machine back then.
2013, 1112. 2014, 920. 2015. Here's the thing. I retired and it started slowing down.
Yeah.
That's
Well, I just don't like complaining.
Well, then you blame
I don't
getting into podcasting. That was the thing.
yeah, that's true too.
Yeah.
I was splitting my time. What can I tell you?
For me, I slow down because I don't like to bitch about what other people are doing. Whatever floats your boat, man. And I just tired of the. I do that on the forums sometimes, but that's enough. And I don't need to do it on my blog. And for my other content, I'm really trying to just get it all written up and shared properly. And it's time to show, not tell. And the blog is kind of like telling, and now I want to show it by getting, which I really still appreciate your help editing, like get the how to make a sandbox out there into the, majestic fantasy realm. And I am trying not to be green with envy for Dominwoods are hitting over 1 million. It's like, I don't think mine would do that well when I publish it, but.
What do you want, Rob? What's your goal? What's going to be your? What do you want to hit?
No, I wouldn't mind getting over.
I wouldn't mind get
over 10,000. That would let me do my majestic fantasy rules bigger and better than I currently have plans for.
10,000.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Bigger, robber, and uncut.
10,000.
Yeah, right.
10,000 backers, Rob, or 10,000 bucks.
Well, what was the question, Joe?
10,000 backers or 10,000 bucks? I mean,
$10,000.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, because the nice thing about what you're gonna, this is your how to build a fantasy game, or is this your Majestic Wildlands? I'm sorry, forget your
Majestic Fantasy Realm. I have no clue how to make a fantasy sandbox. Are going to do.
That's the one. If you ever finish that one, Rob, that's the one that's going to catapult you to the stratosphere, because it's just going to cover any system.
Which one?
Well, that's the thing. It is finished. I just have to.
It is done. That's the one
I know.
I'm just waiting 2 weeks for the opportune time, because what you said to me made sense. And I do have a few maps to do, but I've been doing them, and they're easy. It's stuff I've been doing all along.
Yeah.
I don't have nothing to show on the color version of the Island of Pei, but I drew in the coast. I'm drawing in the rivers. The fills will just go bam, 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 and just I have to do the contours, which are technically easy, but I have to remember how to do it every single time I do it, because CorelDRAW doesn't make it easy to remember how to do it. It's finicky. But the actual root process is just drawing a series of lines in a nice contour fashion. Now, the thing I have to keep in mind is and I kind of ran into this in the Majestic Fantasy realm with that 4 map, is just to keep the scope focused, because if I increase the size, the amount of work, if I double the size, I have 8 times the work. It's always a geometric progression, because your map doesn't grow linearly. It grows, by the height and width. So when I expanded my project from doing just a new version of the Wild North to doing those 4 maps, I did put in an extra work, but the overall result is going to be much better than if I just did the Wild North, because it's going to have a range of environments, a range of situation, a feudal kingdom in one area, a medieval fantasy Russia up north, Black Marsh, what everybody liked, but expanded a bit, a desert area in the southwest.
You gonna have a random weather generator too, Rob?
Maybe.
Don't tempt him.
So I have to figure out a way to do it without copying Harn, because that's, as far as I'm concerned, that's the best way of doing it.
That's funny.
I'm doing better on random encounters though, which I always used to hate. I'm using a D4 plus a D8, and the reason I'm doing that rather than 2D6 is because when you do different size die like that, it produces a central plateau.
Right.
So I can put all my common counters there, and then my rare, my uncommon, rare, very rare will tail off more naturally.
It's a lot of math, Robbie, just talking about that. I don't do math that well. Lawyers divide by thirds.
Well, I got that from AD&D 2E, or actually, they doubled down on that in AD&D 2E, but it started in the Monster Manual 2, and there they use a D8 plus a D12.
All right, folks.
I'm buying the Humble Bundle as we speak here. I like that. Art. That's good. Good link. I'm purchasing it right now.
Yeah, it's a good bundle, man. I swear to God, and I've read so much about Gumshoe system over the years, and read articles espousing the whole way to give out clues, and I was like, all right, this is where I make that drop. Now, since we got most of the group here, I was hoping in October to maybe run a one-shot for Call of Cthulhu, but maybe we'll do a Trail of Cthulhu for October.
Speaking of which, Tim.
Yes.
You're going to run the game soon, right? At some point?
Yes.
All right. You want to pump that shit, or want to pimp that shit, rather?
Pimp it?
Pimp it. Pimp the game. We're going to...
I mean, we got the OSR pimp.
That's true. Eric's
got No. I'm the I'm the matchmaker. That's all I am.
I mean, it's just going to be, what is it? It's going to be one of my crypts and everything that I'll going to run you guys through, kind of do a little play test with it and
fun,
and see how it runs through. I probably will take the whole session with you guys, but all the asides and all that. And,
come on, we got to make the jokes,
Right, we got to wake Rob up once or twice during the session.
We got to make the pot awry. You just got to.
You're gonna run it live though here, right, Tim?
Yeah, we'll do it. We'll do a live one here. Yeah, that'll be fun.
And what's the base system? Shadow Dark? Are you gonna do OSE?
No, it's gonna, because they build it around OSE, so we're gonna keep it OSE. Cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was just gonna add Eric with this call of the Gumshoe stuff. They also came out with your humble bundle. I always have a hard time saying that.
This is the humble bundle. Yeah.
Yeah. So they also have a thing called bubblegum shoe. And it's a really fun system for if you have kids, young kids and stuff like
Oh,
that.
wow,
It's
okay.
almost like running a Nancy Drew Hardy Boys kind of mystery kind of thing. And it's a I've read it, never run it, but it looks like if I had kids, I'd run them through. It'd be a lot of fun. I'd have to tone my stuff down quite a bit, but I mean, well, if he was my kid, he'd be used to it.
They'd be used to it.
Yeah, exactly. You're right. But no, it's a good add-on too. So if you end up liking the gumshoe system and you have some kids, it's definitely worthwhile looking for bubblegum shoe too.
Very cool. Well, a huge thank you to the Muppet Show. What were their goddamn names again? The two old bastards.
Matt and Jackson, I think were their names.
Okay. Yeah, get off the stage. You suck.
They were great. They were the best part. I would laugh my ass off, even as a little kid watching that shit, man. They were the best fucking part.
Oh, hey, Eric. Did we get demonetized yet?
I don't know. I didn't check.
We should have.
I don't think we have.
I mean, I don't know. I use the word asshole.
We keep saying that, and then we find out we are.
So hold on.
We always get demonetized?
Oh, almost always.
The name is Statler and Waldo, by the way, Tim.
Okay.
Statler,
We are monetized.
No way.
No way.
No fucking Nazi way. We're monetized.
And right in front of my eyes.
Refresh, Eric. Refresh.
Hold on. I'm refreshing.
I owe you a beer, Eric. Make up for your $4.
Nope. Yeah, I'm gonna do a video probably this week on the monetization of this channel and literally how links like the link below, if you really want to support the channel, really help because like this month, I think the last 28 days I've made $62, of which $20 plus is from subscriptions. So ad revenue does not make money on this channel. No. I don't do things for the clicks. I always have these assholes. Tenkar does things just for the clicks. No.
You don't make no money on that. I think I made $10 last month, if $5, you know.
Look, it's hard running an evil enterprise like you've got, Eric. I mean, we understand.
I'm sorry.
My understanding is you could ban people from the internet at will. I mean, you have amazing power.
When I was told that by is it okay to say retarded, right? Is that an accurate use of the word?
Well, I did notice the other day because I have captions on YouTube because a lot of times I'm in a noisy place when I'm listening, and someone was talking and they said retarded and it did not get captioned.
Really?
Oh, really?
The sentence didn't even make sense within the caption. Like if you were deaf, you would be like, "What the hell did they even say?"
So the sentence looked retarded without the word retarded in it. That's what you're saying.
It was like it wasn't like if I said Joe is retarded sometimes, it would say Joe is sometimes.
Oh, well, he is sometimes.
And it's like, what does that mean? Joe is sometimes.
It means it's Joe's confused because it's a confusing sentence sometimes.
Yeah. So I think it is on the list of very bad words.
Well, yeah. When I saw people complaining that Tenkar banned them from the internet, I was like, how stupid can you be? And then I realized, wow, when you're an extremist, you can be pretty stupid.
That's right. You can talk about anal warts, but not retarded people. That's morality, folks.
I don't want to talk about anal warts.
No, I was going to say.
You brought that up.
I seriously, I don't. I have no desire.
Yeah, let's not do that. So I just realized I did saw a bit of interesting OSR news. Osric may come out with a new edition.
What?
Yep.
Does anybody use that thing?
Is it called the Make More Money edition?
Yeah, I mean, they already have version.
That's not how Osric works.
Well, why would you need to upgrade a perfect copy of AD&D? Like what would
it's
you
not.
be doing?
See, that's the thing. It's not a perfect copy. They because it was the first. So the first, because it was the first, they deliberately omitted some of the AD&D thing. Not many, but enough that
They
they
can
weren't
keep weapon speed and armor AC
Yeah,
adjustments.
stick it right up
We
in
don't
there,
fucking
too.
need it.
Yep.
Well,
Sorry.
that's some of the comments are going. They're actually bantering about the wisdom of that, but apparently there are some other tweak they could do. And the second version they did wasn't so much that they included stuff that they forgot. It was just to reformat it to be a standalone rule book.
I got
But
the
now
digest
that
version.
nobody has been sued at Oblivion, basically they took a look at old school Essential and saw how close it got,
Yeah, yeah.
and they wanted to get uh,
Is
options
Marshall doing
closer.
it, or is Matt involved?
Yes, the Stuart Marshall and the Knights and Knave crew are involved.
Really? Okay, so it's not Matt Finch doing it then.
No,
No.
he hasn't been involved in a project since it first
Did
launched.
he technically write the motherfucking thing and then just passed it off to be published in England or something? Was that the gist? Was that
I don't remember the details. I do remember that being published in England was important to avoid potential legalities.
Right.
They did get a letter from Woods of the Coast, and Stewart promptly ignored it because he was out in the UK, and they never sent another letter. So
Yeah, I remember talking to somebody who was working for Pathfinder. He was on the World boards, and he was a Pathfinder writer, and he would put out a lot of stuff. I won't name his name, but basically he was saying to me that this OSRIC thing, and this is pre OSR blogs and all that shit. It's got everybody in the industry talking because it's like, wow, if you could do this, what else can we do?
Right.
You know what I mean? It was just like it was that game changer publication that says, Jesus Christ, the future's unlimited, right? Of what we can do with this thing.
I heard about it when Clark Peterson made some pointed remarks over on the Necromancer Games forum, which I was on because of the Judges Guild stuff.
I seem to remember arguing with him back in the day on the World too.
Is there anyone you didn't argue with?
The funny thing is, I believe that I argued with Rob back on the RPG site days, but because the only reason I remember is because I never paid it. I would always increase the size of my screen because I was at a small screen, so I couldn't see really the name of the person I was actually talking back to about whatever issue they brought up. So I couldn't see like the poster or whatever, I would just see what they wrote. So I would just argue the points. But every once in a while, before magnifying, I would see pictures of their little logos or whatever. And I remember this dude wearing a fucking tabard, and it struck me. I was like, the fuck? But Ed just passed it off as whatever, just, some cosplayer kind of guy. And then Rob posted a picture of himself in the tabard. I'm like, that was you? That was you in the RPG site? Like, the hell? Rob, that was the picture you just posted in the chat today, I think. You want to show that just to sort of end it with the picture of Rob in this fucking tabard? Because why not?
I'll be wearing a tabard to our fight. Not that one. I'm wearing
that
one. That one fell apart. But yeah,
Joe's going to wear that uniform from that Sean Connery movie.
No, I'm wearing a t-shirt and sweatpants,
banana hammock,
and knee braces. Right, that's all. That's all I'm wearing.
Wow, Joe, you're still searchable on the RPG site.
Am I? Yeah. What was the picture, Rob? You got the picture pulled up of you dressed up as whatever the fuck the hell that was?
Sure.
Yeah, let's see. That's a good way to say
let me get to the message.
I forget what you just posted it, Rob, in our chat today, in our group chat.
Mm-hmm.
I know. I'll share it in a second here.
I can't grab our group chat on our computer.
I got a standalone picture, so we're covered. Okay, so.
And I remember, I seem to remember that, Rob. I think I've argued with you over there about something because, that was me.
Not surprising, Joe.
Yeah.
Knowing you, knowing me. Okay, there's my picture. There's me as Sir and Lestar, or I was actually a Duke.
That guy, there he is.
That guy.
Well, Rob, are you gonna wear that shit in my backyard? Are you gonna wear that shit? Because I want to spend a neighbor. You know? I live
He
in a
does.
complex.
I have a different tabard that's intact.
So is this gonna wait a minute? So is this fight gonna take on like that Friday or Thursday when we arrive?
No, Friday, because Thursday, you guys are getting here Thursday at whatever.
Yeah, but Friday. Remember, he's staying there Friday.
No, but Thursday morning. See, you both, Rob, his wife, and you are all Kellyanne are staying over at my house Thursday night, right? So I figure Friday night is when the game convention starts. If we leave here at 4:00, we'll get there for 6 or whatever, 3:00,
Right.
4:00, get there, no problem. So that gives us the morning and afternoon to sort of hang out and bullshit. I figure as long as it's not raining, that's where we went and where we'll do it, right in my backyard here, you know. Rob, you saw the back area there. I live in an apartment complex.
Yeah, you have a big grassy area
Shit
that I
ton
can
of
kick your
space.
ass on.
Oh, please.
They're gonna meet on the grassy knoll.
On the
to
grassy
settle-
knolls.
to settle their differences.
I'm not. I've never done this before, but by God, am I gonna video?
I'm gonna live stream it on
I am gonna
YouTube.
get proof of that shit big
Oh,
time.
yeah.
I am getting proof
Rob-
of that. Yes.
Rob, hasn't Joe argued to you that like the moon landings weren't real or something like
Yes,
that?
it's not.
I think if he loses to Rob, he should have to admit that the moon landings are real.
One has nothing to do with the other.
I'm just saying, I think it would be a good part of Rob's victory
No.
over your arrogant self. You know?
I got to say, though, the funniest thing about this, nobody saw except me, Rob, and Eric. It was after one of our streams or one of our games, and Kellyanne jumped in. Everybody else was gone. And Eric was here, and Kellyanne was coming to talk to Rob. She jumped in his screen. And at that time, even though we've been talking about it for 6 fucking months, that was when Rob first announced that he was going to fight me in Mortal Kombat with foam swords.
Oh.
And Kellyanne gave him that wife look. She just turned her head, looked at him, and she says, "It's been 15 years." It was like the best wife look I've ever seen in my life. Rob's like, "Oh, blah, 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 blah." It's been. She's like, "Really? It's been 15 years."
It may have been 15 years, but I went down to that Viking fair
I
and
saw it.
held my own with the guys. So
I know, and you gave away all your secrets, Rob. I've analyzed that. I've sent it to experts. We have picked up a strategy. We're going down, buddy. Going down. And I don't care who wins at this point. The 9 months of shit talking has been worth it. I don't even care that much.
All I know is that in the very near future, we are going to have one of the greatest gifts of all time. I mean, this is going to be a gift that I use in so many conversations, so many applications. It's going to be, I mean, the two of them, something is going to happen that is going to be captured on video, and then
multiple
it, and then I can just use it over to, you know, I hope it's Joe's defeat, honestly, but I hope it's Rob like smashing Joe against the ground or something. I mean, it's really great that we can have. Maybe we can add it as a bumper
I don't think
on
we're
the front
going
of the
full
show.
contact, are we, Joe?
No, we're doing like foam swords, and we're going for like no heads and no nuts. You know, we're not going crazy.
No head, no
No
shots
plan
below the
survives
knee.
contact with the enemy.
Right.
I'm just saying it's gonna explode.
I do feel slightly bad. I do feel slightly bad about beating Rob's ass in front of his wife because Kellyanne will be here, but I have to do what I have to do. You know, I mean.
I have held my own against people who were considerably faster than I was.
There's no proper good night that we can give you on this.
Yeah.
All right? The shit talk is going to continue offline.
Oh, yeah.
In the meantime, we'll save the rest of you from it.
Yeah. My Puerto Rican neighbor is inviting her entire extended family. Just going to be like
300 people.
Okay.
So I'm not going to let her. I'm not going to tell her.
I'm going to laugh if they say, I love Rob, like that one kid did.
I want to see them tip out a 40. In any case,
right.
Be safe, be well. God bless. Roll those dice, roll them well. May the
Use
best,
your common sense, folks.
May the best of these two McGillas get together and not kill each other.
Yeah, it's good. Whoever's going to ShireCon, say hi. We're all most of us. The cool people will be there.
Right.
I'll put it that way.
That hurts. All right. Later,
guys.